Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dum Yinzers. This is episode 247, Mike.
Oh,
247. How are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here.
Good, good. Having some technical issues with my computer with the camera here. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm going to do my best to let it from being a distraction. So I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to this today. I do apologize. It's just been such a pain in the ass. I don't understand what's wrong with it, but we will get it eventually.
We'll get it there. If we have to chuck it out of a window, we will chuck it out of a window.
Mm. Hey, we we got through. We got through the big day, Mike. We got through Valentine's Day, and that
Yes, we
only means
did.
one thing. That means one thing, Mike. 1 month from yesterday, March 14th, is the official Steak and BJ Day. So for any of the women who made their old man partake in any of your Valentine's Day BS, did you make him buy you something? Did you want some chocolates? Did you make him get you flowers? Just know that you are now obligated next month on March 14th to participate in Steak and BJ Day. It's a thing. I tell you what, Mike, I used to just laugh at it and think, oh man, that's such a
Uh-huh.
cool idea. I worked with this guy and we were talking about it one day, and it was well after the day. It was probably 3 or 4 days
Yeah.
after March 14th. And the guy came to work and he's like, we did that. Me and my wife did that. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Get out of here. And he's like, yeah, man. He was like, I brought it up around Valentine's Day, and I
Hmm.
and I kept on her throughout the month and everything. And he
So
said,
he beat her. He beat her will down
he beat her will
to
down.
to get a win.
Yes, and he got the win. He says he came home from work that day. She already had the towel in her hand. She had a towel in her hand. He says, well, I think they had three young kids at the time, and she
Well,
had
hey, that's how you don't. That's how you don't get a fourth.
that's right. And she had the towel in her hand as he got, as he arrived at home from work, and she led him to the basement. I guess they had this old chair in the
Whoa,
basement, and she
shit.
just told him to sit down, and she handled business. And you know what? All was right that year. For all the BS that we get put through trying to find something stupid that's literally going to die in 2 days, or you know what I mean? This is
Yeah,
this is the ultimate
it's
payback.
simple. Yeah, it's a simple gift.
It is a simple gift.
Yeah.
And for a lot of women that don't like doing this, they generally don't do it. You could do it this one day. There's a lot of things that your husband, boyfriend, et cetera, does from day to day in their life. I guarantee that they don't want to do. Maybe, just maybe you can make this a good year and participate in this holiday because he participates in all of your holidays.
Well, I'll make you a deal. I'll buy the steak, I'll cook it, and I'll eat it. And the other part of the day is up to you.
The fuck you talking about?
You heard me.
I don't want to. I
Uh,
ain't fuck. I don't have no towel. Get the hell out of
I'll
here.
bring the towel. We'll get down to the
Get the
basement.
fuck. Get extra chairs here in the studio. Um, so that is
Oh,
that, everybody. Start planning accordingly, guys, because
I think the thumbnail for this episode is just going to be a chair and a towel.
well, here's the thing. The women, they'll let you. They'll forget it, and you have to really, really, like I said, this
Yeah.
guy that I knew, he really stayed on his old
Mhm.
lady about it, and like I said, it worked for him. So like if you don't stay on it, you don't get upset because you didn't get to celebrate Steak and BJ Day. You got to stay on it, just
Yeah,
as it.
it's your fault, gentlemen. If you do not celebrate, it's your
That's
fault.
right. Because when they want something, they bring it up, they bring it up again, they bring it up
Yeah.
300 times until it gets done.
Yes.
We need to take a page from their book, everybody, if you want to celebrate Steak and BJ Day. But it is March 14th, coming up in less than 1 month, Mike.
Well, look, you have that day, and then what, the 17th and St. Patrick's Day, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So look, okay, be like, hey, baby, look, you know, you do this a couple days, I'll take you out to drinks, get the bad taste out of your mouth. I mean, it's a win-win.
And then don't take them out.
Exactly, because they forgot to tell you.
Yeah,
So it's a win-win.
yeah, I like it.
No one loses in this proposition.
No,
No, I
it's a winning formula, Mike. It is.
It's a winning formula for a happy marriage, happy relationship, a happy everything.
I would
This is
agree.
how you win.
I would agree. Note side note that I'm not in a happy relationship, so don't
Yeah,
don't go
don't
by
take
me.
me either. Do not take our relationship advice, or do, and maybe you'll do better with our advice.
However, I still celebrated Valentine's Day, and I gotta take you into this one. It's got a kind of
Okay, all right.
a. I've recently had this. I don't want to say infatuation, but just a sudden interest. Remember the band, the girl band, the Bangles in the 80s?
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
walk like an Egyptian, baby.
walk like an Egyptian, yes. Well, Susanna Hoffs, she was the little one, the one that was real hot, that she kind of did her eyes from side to side in that video, and the guys just went crazy. You know the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she happened to be my date of choice for Valentine's Day yesterday, but that's besides the point. Where I'm going with this is a couple of things. Susanna Hoffs, now she's still very hot. Like, she's 64 years old. Madonna is also 64 years old. If you would
Mm-hmm.
put that picture of Madonna that we had up the other day, that was it from the Grammys, and put it next to
Mm-hmm.
Susanna Hoff, you wouldn't even think they were from the same from the same decade. You know what I mean? For 64, Susanna looks really great. So she came over. We celebrated some Valentine's Day. And a couple of observations that I made were this. Nowadays, Mike, there's no way Walk Like an Egyptian could ever even be put out. As simple, fun, and cheeky of a song as that was, you literally have people in this video walking down the main streets of New York, walking like an Egyptian. I could just see the Eminem people or the whoever getting a hold of this. There is no way Walk Like an Egyptian, as fun as that was, and hot chicks to boot for you to enjoy while you're watching it. That video, I'm convinced, would not make it today.
I think people would just laugh at him if you're walking down the street of New York that way.
And it was everywhere. It was people like on skyscrapers that were working on the side of the building. They were doing it. People getting out of limousines. They were doing it. The whole
your
9 yards.
Camera's doing it.
Yeah, my camera is walking like an Egyptian.
So yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe it would fly. It would fly today. It's tongue and it's fun. It's not.
Yeah, but so is a lot of things,
it's not
though.
disparaging
You know what I mean?
anyone. It's not disparaging anyone.
Might be discouraging to Egyptians. What if an Egyptian gets offended because they're
Ancient,
like, well, that's
ancient Egyptians. Yeah,
well, that's not
modern-day
how we
Egyptians
walk.
probably.
So you're not walking like me. I'm an Egyptian.
Nah, ancient. I don't think the ancient Egyptians will have a lot to say about it. I think we'd be good. I think we'd be good.
You don't think the ancient Egyptians would have a lot to say?
No. You might hear some muffled cries coming out of the the British National History Museum out of the sarcophaguses that they stole, but that might be about it.
And the other thing, Mike, from my venture into the Bengals before we get started, I just learned I was just this year old, 44, and how many ever months I am, when I found out the lyrics for Manic Monday was not just another man named Monday. Apparently, it's just another Manic Monday.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I was yesterday years old. Yeah, I like I said, I kind of got my Susanna Hoff thing going on here, and
there's something wrong with you, bro.
Yeah, I thought it was just another man named Monday.
Just another. We could have like an entire episode on like misheard lyrics.
But we could have a whole entire episode on misheard lyrics. But here's the thing: I think a lot of people think the same thing. As a matter of fact, as a kid, when the song was big and growing up, I didn't even know what manic was.
Yeah,
it just made sense to me that it sounded like she said man. So
it's the man named Monday.
Just another man named Monday.
Wish
it was Sunday, because that's my fun day. Just another man named Monday. See.
No, it doesn't work. No, that's all right. When I was little, you'd always hear about like guerrilla warfare and guerrilla fighters and stuff. I thought like actual guerrillas were fighting people. Like, we're at war with gorillas. Have you seen those bastards? They are jacked. They don't work out, and they're that big. Once they get on a training program, they would fuck us up.
You got to watch out for them gorillas.
Here I am thinking, Planet of the Apes was a warning to like, this is what's going to happen. See, we're already at war with them.
You're about to see me gorilla press this.
I hope you do. I know
this
deep
computer.
Inside you are seething with pure rage at this camera issue right now.
Finally, one more thing, Mike. You want to hear a real quick funny story? Now, the reason I'm going to tell this
Yeah.
story is because on one of our social media sites where we post a lot of things, there was somebody that commented, liked. I'm not going to point the person out, but the person did somehow react to a post that we had. And it makes me think, Mike, that this takes me back now when I was probably about 10 years old. And there was a girl that lived behind me. And it all kind of comes together because it takes you back to the time like when the Bengals were big. But anyway, this guy, he reacts in some way, and it made me think of him. And what happened was when I was a kid, probably 10 or 11 years, I'd say, right around Little League, there was this girl, she was pretty hot. She lived right behind me. And then right behind her house was these woods that we used to play in all the time. We used to build tree houses and set fires and all that kind of stuff that kids do. Well, this guy, he used to come over and beat her cheeks all the time. But as a kid, I thought that he was beating her. Like we were down in the woods and you would hear them going at it and you would hear smacking and screaming and everything else. And on several occasions, Mike, I've called the police. I called the police on them because I thought he was hitting her. Meanwhile, it wasn't anything like that. They had a very good relationship. Nobody was hitting anybody. But it made me think of this because a couple of things, because like I said, kind of going back to this Bengals thing, it took me back to that time. And this guy also reacted to a post that we had, and I saw that, so I will not mention his name. However, I did call the cops on them multiple times. And it was wild because, like I said, I was this 12-year-old kid, 11-year-old maybe, and the cops would come, and I would always expect to see, him getting pulled out in the handcuffs or whatever. But the cops would just leave. They would leave. They would go into the house. A period of time would go by, and then they would leave. And I used to think, what the hell's going on? Maybe,
or the cops in on this?
The cops in on this? So the next time it happened, and, we're down in the woods, and you just hear this screaming and carrying on. And I called the cops again. Mike, it happened several times.
I can't believe that the cops didn't tell you, hey, everything's okay.
Well, you know what the funny thing was? The cops just leave. They didn't even come over to talk to me. I was just this kid. Who knows if they even knew?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't identify myself.
Know it was you. Okay.
I just said this girl was getting beat up, and we need somebody to come and take a look. See, and
something was getting beat up already.
Can you imagine them? How pissed off they were?
Oh, right. Like hey man, we're just trying to get our freak on, and trying to
this little jackass across the alleyway keeps calling the cops on us. This is really frustrating with this mic or with this camera, Mike. It really is.
Oh.
It's discouraging.
It is discouraging. It's discouraging. It is very discouraging.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit there for a minute because I know the one day I did that and I didn't notice. It kind of went back to normal. So I'm going to let it sit right there for just a second.
Yeah, just don't look at it. Don't talk about it. Don't acknowledge the camera.
I mean, if it wasn't flashing and shit and switching
right?
to,
if it would just say Big Johnson the whole day,
the
whole episode, and it's just my picture on here, I think that we would do a lot better.
No. But anyway, welcome back to the Two Dum Yinzers, everybody. This is episode 247. Mike, it's going to be 70 degrees today. Can you believe it?
That it's nuts. Like when I left or at one part of work, we opened up like the doors, the outside air was coming in. I'm like, oh, this feels kind of good. But it's hot in there. We're moving around. I didn't realize how nice it was. So I walked outside. This is insane. At like 9 o'clock in the morning, February 15th, it's like this nice out.
It's truly amazing.
Something
it really is
wrong, and it should not be this nice. So I'm afraid, like Easter's going to roll around and we're going to have a blizzard.
Yeah, more than likely.
I think I think that balloon from yesterday we were talking about, all those UFOs are still fucking with your camera. And
yeah, my camera had no issues until these balloons started showing
until the balloon and all the UFOs. Congress wants to have all these hearings about this, that, the other. They need to come in and have a hearing about this.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on?
I mean, I'm going to literally sit here and bitch about a camera for an hour. It's insane. I can't. We have to get something done here.
This might be the best episode we've ever had.
This is the absolute worst. I'm ready to trash it right now. I'm trashing it here in another fucking minute if this thing don't fix itself.
Yeah. Might be the shortest episode we've done together with the two of us.
So anyway, Mike, we had some big games in on last night from Pittsburgh teams.
Yes.
The Pittsburgh Penguins, of course, they had a late game down in San Jose, and also, Mike, a big game at the Pete between the Boston College Golden Eagles and the Pitt Panthers. Now this, Mike, is the Pitt Panthers were on a 5-game winning streak coming into this game. They win this game handedly. I believe it was 77-58, if I'm not mistaken. That takes Pitt to 19-7 overall, 12-3 in the conference, puts them back up top of the conference by themselves one more time, ahead of the ranked Miami, NC State, and somebody else.
All the teams that are ranked or below them.
Yeah.
Funny
so here we are at the top
again.
again.
Works out.
And it was wild, Mike, because the whole game, that's all they talked about. I kid you not. The announcers, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. How is this team not ranked?
Yeah.
Watch them. Look at them. They're as good as anybody. They're, and at this point, I think, I don't know what it is, because somebody pointed out over on Facebook, they said, go to ESPN and type in Pitt basketball. And when you do that, 3 scores come up: the loss to Notre Dame, or not Notre Dame, the Michigan, the loss to somebody else, and then a win over somebody like Austin P or something from the very beginning. So it's very unimpressive. When you go to Pitt on the ESPN, it takes you to 2 losses and a win against somebody who's really nobody. It makes you think, I mean, does people even realize what's going on, man?
I don't know. Like, it's Pitt basketball. They haven't been relevant for a while now. So, like I keep saying, this program is going to have to. They're going through that phase where people really aren't trusting them. How good are they? And just take that us against them mentality into these final games and run with it. Don't be like the Kansas City Chiefs where you have to manufacture that us against them mentality. You literally have us against them. Against them. None of these sports networks, none of the coaching polls, the AP polls, no one believes in you. Just go out there and keep winning, keep doing your thing.
I seen this morning, somebody said, what if, a number 1 in the bracket, when one of the brackets, look over and see the Pitt Panthers is like the number 9 or 8 team coming to town.
Yeah.
That's kind of it's kind of deceiving, because like I said, this team, I think right now they're the best team in the ACC. They beat everybody that they played with the ranking. They beat North Carolina twice. They're winning the games they're supposed to. They, like I said, they're on a 6-game winning streak. They're top by themselves. They're 12-3 in the conference. Mike, we got Virginia. Okay, here's how it's going to break down for the last 4 or 5 games. You got Virginia Tech this Saturday, 5:00. They ain't so great. I think they're 10-16 overall, 5-9 in the conference. And then after that, you got Georgia Tech, who we already beat earlier. Syracuse, they're a team you have to watch, but they're totally, they're on the bottom of the conference. Then Notre Dame, who's pretty bad. And then we finish up against Miami on the 4th of March. So, I mean, we got 5 games left, Mike. There's a good chance. There's a really good chance we could win 80% of these games. We could win 4 out of 5. And you know what? Like I said, we beat Miami last time. But you know what? At that point, I think if you're sitting with 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, you're sitting at 17-3.
Yeah.
You're sitting at 17-3. And this team isn't even ranked. Come on.
Yeah. And right now, what they're, like I said yesterday, they're projected, if they win the ACC, just as a 9 seed.
Yeah.
9 seed. Like that's insane. So, of course, we'll see how the season plays out. They went out, they beat Miami. If Miami's still ranked, they go in the ACC tourney, they win that, but then they should be ranked. But I wouldn't even let them rank me at that point.
Leave me the fuck alone and just go whoop everyone's ass.
Yeah, don't rank me. And you know what? Rankings don't matter. What matters is making it to the tourney.
Yeah.
Just win the games that you have remaining, win the ACC tourney, or have a nice little run in there, get ranked, and just start rattling off wins once the tourney starts. Go. Don't be ranked. Don't want that ranking. Just want that disrespect. Use that to fuel you. My God, I cannot speak today. and then let that momentum carry you into the tournament. Make it deeper. Do I think this team can win the tourney? No, but I think they can go in and upset some teams that they should not beat, or that teams might overlook them.
I think just because they're so underrated, I think that they have a shot of getting to the Final Four. I mean, you get past the first couple rounds, it's already the Elite Eight, and before you know it, I think this team is good enough to easily win a first round game and win a second round game.
Yeah.
Convincingly,
Sweet 16.
And then you get in the third round against a team that's a 1-2 something like that. They got a chance to win one of them games too, Mike. I think that like you said, if they kind of stay under the radar,
that's the best place to be.
That's the best place to be for this team. And
for this team, but I can see Sweet 16. I'm starting to hop on. I'm not going to hop on the Pitt bandwagon because I'm a Penn State fan. I can never jump on anything Pitt, but kind of root for them. It's the only basketball team around. So, but yeah,
even when we were good,
even when they were good, I was still rooting
back
for
in
them
the Jamie Dixon, back in the Ben Howland. Those teams never got to the Final Four, and I think this team is better. Federico. They got some good players, Mike. I mean, in the amount of threes that they make during the game, it's unbelievable. It's almost kind of like watching the Golden State Warriors in a way. And I think that's going to be their downfall, is they live by the three and they die by the three. And at some point, you're going to come out, there's going to be a bad shooting day. And a lot of times, unfortunately, that's the kind of thing that hurts a team like that. But it's unbelievable. I think that Burton had 5 threes last night. I think overall there was about 11 or 12 threes made by Pitt. And like I said, there's a lot of talent on this team that's very under the radar. Federico, like if you would just listen to some of these announcers talking during the game and how unbelievably good this team is compared to the lack of respect that they get, it really is amazing, Mike. And like I said, at this point, don't fucking rank us. Just let us go to the tournament and see what kind of havoc we could wreak.
That's a bold statement, saying they're better than those Ben Howland, Jamie Dixon teams, because those teams had some amazing talent on those rosters.
They were good, absolutely.
Yeah. And it felt like those teams, they just always ran into like a team that was hot.
Yeah.
And they could never make that jump.
Who was that one? Who was the one team? Was it Wichita State or something like that?
Was it Wichita? I'm thinking Gonzaga for some reason, because Gonzaga always comes up and beats someone that they shouldn't. Gonzaga always makes a run, but I don't think they were ever in the same.
Where did Big Show go to college? Was it Wichita State? Because it was wherever Big Show went, and I think it was Wichita State.
I think it might have been Wichita State, because it could be, but I can't remember.
And that was
they would always run into someone like, you should beat them, and then they lose. It's like, come on, what the hell's going on here? In typical Pitt fashion.
Yeah.
And that's like every team around this area. You should beat them. Oh, okay, you're going to lose to them.
Mike over, and then on to the ice, baby. We have Casey DeSmith starting last night. This is his 7th straight start, his longest streak since 2018.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah,
he popped up with a comment about the NC State. NC State's ranked this right now, man. They're what, 25th?
I think they just lost last night.
Oh, they did?
I believe so.
I was all happy. I was looking through the standings. I saw they were ranked. Yeah, they lost 75-72 to Syracuse.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to lose that 23 overall ranking.
We're coming to get it, P. We're taking your 23. Yeah, right. We'll get dropped because we lost 2 games. We haven't lost in a month. It's unbelievable. But anyway, and I do want to apologize to everybody. I'm sure you could tell if you are watching us at the moment, we are having a camera issue, and I do apologize about that. It's utterly annoying. I do acknowledge this.
It's annoying for him. It's funny to me.
I can imagine it's real fun to watch too.
Oh God, no, it's not fun at all.
So anyway, the Pittsburgh Penguins, they were back on the ice. They were down in San Jose.
Yes.
Down there playing the Sharks last night in another late game. Sharks, not that good of a team, Mike. This was probably a team that we needed. We are 3-1 since the break. They win 3-1.
Yes.
Jake Getzel, a couple goals. Mike, the Penguins are coming back to the East Coast. They play the Islanders on Friday nights. So here we are, 3 4 games into the second part of the season. Do you see an overall improvement on this team, or are we just kind of getting the luck of the draw with the teams that we're getting?
It seems to be the luck of the draw. Like, the teams that we should be beating, they're beating, but we saw what happens when they came up against the Kings,
Yeah.
a team that's like at their level or a little bit above. They could not compete. They got skated out of the arena. It was terrible. Like even this game last night, yeah, they won 2-1, but it was not a well played game. We 45 face-offs. San Jose won 30 of them. We won 15. That's a huge issue. That is huge. It may not sound important, but my God, we know how important faceoffs are, especially defensive zone draws. If you're on the penalty kill, or the team's been barreling down your neck, you get that stoppage in play. You want to change momentum. You want to get that faceoff win. We can't win faceoffs, and this thing has been going on for years. And it's wild that someone like I think like Sid and Jeff Carter have pretty good percentages, but everyone else sucks. It boggles the mind. Casey DeSmith, stood on his head again. 39 shots he faced, gave up one. So we were up 2-0. Defensemen were jumping into the zone like always. They were not playing scoring situation. Instead of hanging back, playing smart hockey, it was still that, hey, we're going to activate. We're going to jump in the play. We're giving up odd man rushes. So without Casey DeSmith last night, the Penguins would have lost. So we kind of got lucky there.
Yeah.
But I do want to say Crosby's goal, or his assist on Gensel's goal, was a thing of beauty. I don't know if you saw it, but Sid skating around the back of the net. Gensel's coming down the wing. There's a couple defensemen there, forwards back checking. No one followed Crosby behind the net, so he's like, okay, I'm just going to do a backhand pass to the side of the net, and just know that Gensel's going to be there and he's going to have an opportunity. It was a bad angle shot. There's like maybe that much room for him to shoot on the angle, and he made it in. It was a perfect play by Sid. It's showing just why he's still one of the best players in the league. To have that awareness and have that confidence in his teammate that, hey, I'm going to make this backhand pass and there's not much room to shoot. I trust that he has the ability to snipe this in, and he did.
Yeah, I tell you what, you gotta they're streaky, man. This is what I've been saying from the beginning. This team right now sitting with the 3-1 since they've been back. I could see them winning 3 or 4 more games and then hitting that point to where they lose 3 or 4 games. I think that inconsistency, Mike, I mean, you know a lot more. You are the more hockey minded person. Ultimately what what's more possible, what more or is more probable for them to do going down to the road, getting into the playoffs and trying to do anything there. But to me, it just seems like it's a consistency thing with these guys. And that is not going to allow you to win a Stanley Cup, because you have to be pretty much the most consistent team, obviously, to get through the gauntlet the NHL playoffs. And, to me, that seems like it's the biggest thing is they just can't stay consistent.
No, they can't. And my God. And this used to be a team that, would be able to turn it on and off, to just like, hey, it's getting close to that time of the year. Let's tighten up and play smart hockey. Past couple of years, they haven't been able to do that. They just keep playing free and loose hockey. And it's frustrating. It's annoying to watch. It's painful because this is a team that should know how to play. I just sighed. They're frustrating, man. This team, for how many cup winners are on this team?
Right.
They should know how to play, but it's like they just want to go out there and do their own thing. They don't want to play with any structure, and that's what's frustrating, man. Where's the structure? Where's the discipline? Where's the smart hockey? Because these guys are smart hockey players. They know how to play scoring situations. They just refuse to. They just want to go out there, play the way they want to play.
I'm just gonna leave my video on this.
You know what?
Because it kind of looks normal, like when you're talking, just kind of looks like I'm, wigging out or something.
You look like you're zoned out, spaced out, all just like you took some mad bong rips, and you're just like, yeah, man. Yeah.
So after this game, like the Penguins are 27, 17, and 9. Sharks fall to 17, 27, and 11. And the Penguins come back to the East Coast, like I said, Friday night to play the Islanders. The Islanders, is this going to be a game that the Penguins could win?
Oh, can, should, could. Yeah. This game they should win, I believe,
Yeah.
But I just the way this team plays, man, we blew them out of the water last time we played 5-1.
Okay.
So, we should be able to beat them, but they're right there, man. They're like right there in the standings. We have 63 points, they have 61, but we do have a decent amount of games in hand on them. But
check out my eyes now.
oh god.
Look at that.
Oh my god. I can't with you. I'm just gonna keep it on ESPN here and read stats and act like I know what I'm talking about for.
This is very frustrating. I cannot express how irritating this is with this camera, Mike. I just don't know what to do. This is by far the worst show that we've ever put out. I apologize again, everybody. I hate putting something that looks like shit out.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Mike. I don't know. We have to get somebody to work on this. This is unacceptable.
We're gonna have to burn that camera and burn that computer.
It's
real quick. I just want to go to a happy note here. Pete was talking about that contract that DiPietro got, that 18-year contract, and oh god, yeah, I forgot New York, man. Also the Bobby Bonilla contract. They love handing out ridiculous contracts in New York. I don't know what it is. And yeah, Bobby Bonilla is still cashing checks. Bobby Bonilla Day is a national holiday. I love it.
I don't know, man. I'm working on something over. You just have a show.
I'm gonna have a show. I'm gonna talk about Bobby Bonilla's contract, which it started off. He's not the only one who has it, but it's beautiful, man. It runs through 2035. He will be 72 years old when it ends. $1.19 million a year. I love it. God, when is Bobby Bonilla Day?
There we go.
July 1st.
Yes, July 1st is Bobby
Bonilla Day. Yeah, I forget. There's a couple other people in sports, like in baseball and a couple other major sports that have that contract as well, where they negotiated that in. But Bobby Bo was the first, and hey, when you're first, you get all the glory. I love it. Bobby Bonilla, well, he was one of my favorite Pirates. That contract was one of the greatest contracts ever signed by him. Smart move, Bobby Bo.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. Bobby Bo. Mike also.
Big dummy above.
What?
Your name, Big Dummy above.
And also, Mike, okay. The big tweet yesterday, the tweet wars going on, bud. The tweet wars between Juju and AJ Brown. AJ Brown chose to jump into this.
Yes.
Juju had a Valentine's tweet he put out, and it said, it was a picture. It was a picture of James Bradbury, and it says, "I'll hold you when it matters most." And it was supposed to be a knock at Bradbury because of the holding call, but it was made in the form of a Valentine. Very entertaining, I thought it was. And AJ Brown, not James Bradbury, but AJ Brown decides to retweet and take a stab back at Juju. And this is what AJ Brown says: "This is lame. You was on your way out of the league before Mahomes resurrected your career on your 1 year deal, TikTok boy."
Where's the lie? AJ Brown is 100% correct.
Well, I don't even think that his career was resurrected. Like I was saying the other day, I don't really think he's setting the world on fire in Kansas City, but the point is taken for sure.
Yeah, everyone knows. Like I think like Juju knew. Like that's why he stopped doing a bunch of the TikTok stuff. Like, hey, like no one wanted to give me a contract. He's seen as a joke throughout the league. No one wants to deal with his nonsense, and he lucked himself into a Super Bowl. Let's be honest here. He was an inconsequential member of that team, and AJ Brown's right. And why tweet that card out to what's his face?
Yeah.
I forget the player's name. Bradbury, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Why tweet it out to him? The guy, admitted that I held you, more or less cost the team the game. Why kick someone when they're down?
I thought it was funny.
It's like a spoiled sport. Like it comes out.
I seen fat ass saying pretty much the same thing that you said yesterday. And he was so pissed off, apparently, fat fuck up in Pittsburgh with his Hawaiian gear. And he had words. He's basically saying the same thing you are. Why kick this guy when you're down?
Yeah, why kick him?
Why not?
There's no need for that. The guy came out. He didn't boo and say, "Oh, Juju got away with one." He acted.
It's fun. It was fun. It was cheeky. It was an entertaining tweet that I thought that if you're you have an ounce of maturity, you could take it as what it was. I don't
have an ounce of maturity. You don't tweet that out.
Absolutely not, Mike. Why? What's the problem with tweeting that?
Because it makes you look like an ass.
So,
like, you can't.
That's his choice. That's his choice on his social media. Yeah, he can put whatever he wants. If he wants to make himself look like an ass, then
he is an ass.
Have at it.
He's an ass, and that's why no one will ever take Juju seriously. He was a passenger on that Super Bowl ring. Yeah, you got a ring, buddy. You're like, so does Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard was 12th man on the bench. You're like the 53rd man on the bench too. You did nothing. You did less than nothing to help your team make it through the Super Bowl and really do anything in the Super Bowl.
So now everybody's going to take their shots, which is fine. I don't personally see anything wrong with it. I think that these guys talk enough trash as the games go on. I think these guys talk enough trash building up to the week. I don't think that this is offensive. I think it's funny. I think that, if you can't take this as a joke because of what happened, then you know what? Then they are the source sports, and get over yourself.
Juju's a bum. He always has been.
I'm not saying Juju's not a bum. Don't get me wrong.
There's just no need for it. No need for it.
I think there's a need for it. I think that it's hilarious, and I was highly entertained. So to tell me that I can't be entertained by something because
I can say you can be entertained by it. This doesn't mean I'm not going to judge you by it.
Oh, I don't care. You can judge me for whatever you want.
Oh,
and I've said that from day one. I don't care. But I'm saying this. What a ridiculous thing. And he's wrong. AJ Brown is wrong because, again, he didn't resurrect Juju's career. Again, Juju's career is basically what it was in Pittsburgh, if not less. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it seemed to me that he was getting a lot more passes with Ben Roethlisberger behind the center than he was this year because, again, Kansas City, they have a lot more going on. They have a little bit more stability in their line. They're able to pass the ball around and get it to more people. Juju, he's taken the hit here. His career's resurrected. He was on his way out of the league. That's inaccurate. That's inaccurate. Juju could have went to many different teams. Mike, you don't even know. He could have went anywhere.
No one gave him. He got like one contract offer at the tail end,
and that was the best one to take. I would have taken it too.
That was the only one. This guy thought one out thinking he was going to get like 15, 16, 17 million a year.
Did he have 7 catches in a Super Bowl?
He got nothing.
That's terrible.
Nothing. He got nothing.
7 catches in a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl ring. That's nothing.
It's nothing. It was nothing to write home about.
I'm not saying he was anything to write home about. I'm saying that he had 7 catches and won a Super Bowl ring. Point being, I was highly entertained.
Juwan Howard has an NBA championship ring and he didn't do anything.
Who's Juwan Howard?
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
I don't even know who that is. Is that
exactly? That's what people are going to remember. Like, oh, Juju won it.
No, but I'm asking seriously. What team did he play? Who is he? I don't.
He's played in the NBA. And he has a ring
with who?
I don't know. And people like 5-10 years from now will be like, oh, Juju got a ring with who?
Well, that goes for most of everybody on the team. There's 53 guys.
You're right. John Sally has 3 rings and at 7 points a game. That's Juju right there, man. You do nothing.
John Sally?
Yeah.
John Sally was amazing. He played on those great Detroit teams and for the Bulls in the 90s. What are you talking about?
He was a bum.
John Sally?
Yeah, that's what. Hey, you take this up with P. I'm shifting the focus onto you and P.
I'm just saying that I think that AJ Brown for one.
Yesterday,
as much as I go on and on about AJ Brown, really, who are you? AJ Brown has won nothing in this league. AJ Brown has already been to 2 different teams. He's been in the league for 3 years. As much as I do go on about his skill, which he is a good football player, he's proven nothing. This guy, a guy who's done less than Juju Smith-Schuster, is going to come on and tell Juju that
Proving
that,
nothing.
that Mahomes saved his career. Talking about somebody saving his career. Jalen Hurts saved your career.
Jalen Hurts did not save his career.
Well, apparently he did because he was in Tennessee and he wasn't good enough for the Titans.
Yeah, just because it was a football trade they made.
Yep. And guess what? Was he doing great? How was he? I mean, he's only been in the league 3 years. He got drafted in 19. Yeah, he's already been on 2 different teams.
He has 35 touchdowns. 35 touchdowns in 4 years. Yeah. He's a bum. He's a bum.
He ain't won nothing yet, man. Juju, I tell you what, Juju is ahead of the game when it comes to Juju and AJ Brown.
Really? We're going to compare Juju and AJ Brown.
I know one guy has a ring.
Yeah. And
I know that the other guy is salty because of what just happened. And somebody sends
the other guy wasn't
salty.
Out he was sticking up for his teammate.
He was sticking up for a tweet that made reference to the game. And this guy gets big-headed about it and says, this is what he says. He says, this is lame. I'm going to tell you exactly what he says. Relax. This is lame. You were on your way out of the league. He was not on his way out of the league. That's inaccurate. Before Holmes resurrected your career, which is inaccurate, on your 1-year deal. TikTok boy. Sounds like somebody's jealous to me, Mike.
Let's see. Juju has been in the league 6 years, has 29 touchdowns. And
a Super Bowl ring. You got to add that. That's the big part.
There's like 53 guys on the team that got a Super Bowl ring.
How many does AJ have?
So
AJ, hold on, AJ Brown. Mike, you have to tell the people because I don't think they understand how many
he doesn't have
rings.
Any.
He has none. He has none.
Yeah.
He has none. And he's going to talk about somebody else.
Yeah.
That's how he's won nothing. Mike, he's won nothing.
Okay, so Dan Marino was a terrible quarterback.
I'm not talking about Dan Marino. I'm talking about AJ Brown.
No. You're saying like
you're talking about some rings mean everything.
So Dan Marino sucks. Listen, you heard it here.
This is totally out of the conversation.
Dan Marino sucks.
I never said Dan Marino sucks.
Any player who does not have a championship ring sucks. Any player who has a championship ring sucks. That is literally what you're saying.
At the beginning of this conversation to
say
literally
what you're saying.
I do go on and on about
all the time when you argue. You pick one thing and say that this is the whole thing.
Is that true? Is that true? Is that true?
I'm not going to answer your question.
Is that true? Is that true? Is that true?
I'm not going to answer.
Is that true? Is that true? That is absolutely 100% true. I go on and on and on about how good his skills were before this conversation started. So no, did I say AJ Brown sucks? Not one single time. Not one single time. All I said is who has the ring and who doesn't. Let's mention who has the ring and who doesn't. That's all I'm saying. Okay, continue.
So Dan Marino sucks because he
that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
that, Mike. If you would have not talked while I was just explaining for 10 minutes here, then you would understand what I'm saying.
I understand
what you're saying. And on about the skills that AJ Brown has. You do notice this, right?
You said AJ Brown did nothing in his career, and I point out the facts that he has better stats in a short amount of time. And I said that he has won
nothing. Correct. You're absolutely right on that. He's won nothing yet. You're right.
How about you admit the fact that you said AJ Brown did nothing in his career?
I said that he has no.
You said he's done nothing in his career.
Mike, he's been to 2 teams already. That doesn't look good for one. For 2,
so is Juju. Juju's been on 2 teams.
And he's been here in the league for 6 years.
You just said 6 years and has done less.
And the other guy's been in the league for less than 3 years
and has more success.
And doesn't have a ring.
That doesn't.
That's
matter.
the point I'm making. The ring is the point I'm making. You're not getting that. This is over your head somewhere. And I think it might be in one of these Chinese balloons flying around over the country, because what I'm saying is this. Listen, I acknowledge that this guy is a very, very good receiver. I compared him to Antonio Brown yesterday. Is that correct or not correct? Did I compare him to Antonio Brown?
Yeah.
Okay. And I also, before this conversation, went on and said, I said this. I acknowledge that this guy has mad skills, but he doesn't have a ring, and Juju does. That is what I said. Make what you want out of that.
Yeah, you're making that rings matter all. So then people who don't have rings, who had great careers, suck.
Well, the guy's been in the league. Listen, he's been in the league for 3 years. How can we say he's had a good career or not? All I'm saying is one guy has a ring and the other guy doesn't.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Pete's comment. Dan Marino had 2 Cuban side families, so he didn't want to leave Miami. Maybe that's why he doesn't have any rings, and therefore he sucks. He should not be in the Hall of
Fame. I'm so frustrated with this camera. All I could do is be frustrated. It's driving me crazy.
I know that's why you were going off about Juju and AJ Brown.
I'm looking at I'm looking at the screen and it's flashing, and all I could do is just get frustrated, and I'm ready to fucking throw it. I mean, we literally got like into nothing today. We got
I
into
know.
nothing.
Well, we've gotten a lot of stuff. This is fun. I'm having a blast.
I mean, as far as subject, I mean, we haven't talked about anything.
We talked about AJ and Juju in the tweet. We talked about Pitt. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Talked about steak and BJ day.
Yeah. See, look. Go to your happy place. You're talking about your date with the Bengals. Go back to your happy place.
See, I don't think it's the camera, Mike. I think it's something else.
Might be. We might have to upgrade a computer or something.
We might have to upgrade something because here's the issue. I was having this issue with all three computers. That is the problem. I think it's a network. I think it's a connection thing, maybe.
Could be a port connection. Could be something you need cleaned. I don't know. Wire could be damaged. USB cable could be messed up.
I'm just so over this
whose
show.
fault this is?
I'm so over today's show. I don't even know what to say.
You know whose fault this is? This is AJ Brown's fault. Because AJ
All
Brown,
I noticed when I seen this fat fuck on Twitter, going off and calling a Juju shit, and I thought this is what I'm going to get today because you and Dingle Nut up there always kind of have similar parallel.
Well, I know. Like if you would have scrolled down and read like 5 tweets before it, he was singing Juju's praises.
Who was?
Your boy. Mr. Hawaiian Shirt was singing Juju's praises. Like 5
you know
tweets
what,
before.
Mike? It was an accident.
Like 5 tweets before.
Did I even seen his tweet?
Like you
because
saw
I
that
don't
one,
follow
you just like flipped out. If you would have kept scrolling like 5 more tweets, you would have been like seeing him praising Juju for
like
maturing
I
as a player
him,
and as a
will I
person.
ever. It was one of these things that kind of popped up probably just because I do have a lot of football stuff in my feed, and one of his tweets did pop up, and this would be the one. And I thought, I know what I'm up against for today. I knew it was coming today. I knew it. And there you have it. Everybody else. Also, Mike, we have.
Hold on real quick. P talking about your computer. You sound like you want HP. Never go full HP. It's a hand-me-down, P. I don't know what one it is. It might be an HP.
Peter's 3 computers.
And shout out to the Tropic Thunder reference.
And I don't think that it's the computers, Mike. I really don't. I think it's a connection issue.
It might be that camera. That camera might be dying.
I don't think it's the camera. Like I said, I think it's a connection issue, Mike. It might be the camera.
I think it's the camera.
Do you really?
Why do you think I gave you that camera?
Mike, it's the same exact camera.
If it's not working on all 3 computers, it's got to be the camera.
Or a connection, right?
That's got to be the camera.
Why would the camera?
I don't know. The USB cable to the camera could be all messed up.
The cable?
Yeah, the cable.
The Ravens hire Georgia's offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, Monken.
Yeah,
he was the offensive coordinator down in Georgia for the last 3 years. So he's nothing short of a damn good offensive coordinator from what I know. I don't know much about the guy. However, I know the Ravens did bring in the guy that led this team to national championships, and we have a guy that is capable of putting the jet sweep together.
Hey, that is innovative for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Up until last year, all these people that were like, oh, you got to give Canada time, were all about him and the jet sweep and the motion. Now that they saw it in action, it's bad.
Oh, so you got to move on. You got to get rid of it. That's of course.
I didn't. Well, but that was going to be the big innovation once we got rid of that big meanie Hall of Fame quarterback. Was the Matt Canada offense? Pittsburgh's going to be so offensively great.
I've never seen a coordinator as bad, and it wasn't because it was a rookie. It wasn't because we had this bad line. It wasn't because there was a bunch of situations going on. Mike, I got to be serious. I got to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen an offensive coordinator, an offense called the way that our offense was called. It was bad, man.
It was the
all excuses aside, all jokes aside. This was that's a bad offense.
His play calling, there's no flow to the call,
right?
Because there's some of those calls, like when we saw Mitch miss a pass or Kenny, and people on Twitter, they would blow up the whole field to where you can see okay, there are people open on these routes, but there's no consistency in the play to get everyone into the rhythm so you can hit those plays consistently. where you see some route combinations and play designs like, okay, now if you set this up with other things before it, okay, it might work. But he's like just haphazardly picking plays. Like he's playing Madden. Oh, this one sounds good right about now. Oh, this one sounds good. I'm gonna do that. I just don't get it.
What
I don't get it's the play calling.
it's really bad.
But like once you saw like later in the year though, it seemed to get a little bit better. Like he started to make better choices, but then he would still fall back into that trap of I need a sweep here. I need a jet sweep. You have to run a jet sweep, man. My man starts tweaking like he hasn't had a hit yet. So that might just be his thing, man. It might be his fetish. Maybe the jet sweep is his fetish. He gets his nipples hard on the sidelines.
Coach Tomlin needs to cut his ass off at some point where he calls a play and Tomlin steps in and it's like, no, veto power and call, an actual normal NFL play.
Oof. Like,
because it was very frustrating. That was one of the most
very frustrating.
I don't remember being this frustrated with play calling in my whole life. I mean, it was really bad, man.
It brings to mind the Kevin Gilbride era of Steelers offenses, which is not a good era.
I gotta say, I just don't know what I'm gonna do with this camera. I'm like, we have to come up with something. This is not good. It's not good for the show. This is bad. Mock drafts. Now, mock drafts are kind of getting on my nerves because all you're basically doing is getting people's opinions on what the draft is going to be.
Yeah.
And they're all different.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was looking at a bunch today and pet peeve. I hate when people do a mock draft and they project trades because they never fucking come to pass.
Yeah.
It's annoying. I looked at like 7 or 8 today. 3 of them had projected trades. And then they had like second round picks. And they had even also had projected trades in the second round of their mock draft. Why? Just go like, hey, here's who's 1 through 32 or 1 through 31 this year because that Miami's forfeited a pick. Just pick the player who you think the team will take and that, that's available. Just don't project trades because every year they do this, trades never come to pass. Because I think last year, the bunch of mock drafts I showed or saw that they're showing trade here, trade there. There were no trades in the first round. Just mock it who you think this team will take. I hate I used to love mock drafts, but now everyone's projecting trades here and there like to outsmart the other people doing mock drafts.
Yeah, they're very irritating, Mike. I have to say that I am 100% irritated with mock drafts. Again, you're just getting these people's opinions, and you can get 3 people who know a lot about football, know a lot about drafts, know a lot about where things are going, and they give you 3 different opinions. So again, at the end of the day, it's basically just people's guesses as they put these together. There's no way to know accurately for sure until draft day comes. So I never really got sucked into the mock drafts. I never have. I have always thought that they were kind of stupid.
I get into them just because it helps me familiarize myself with other teams' needs. Like, okay, like if you start seeing a consistent theme in mock drafts, like, okay, so this team, they need this position, that position, and then you figure out, okay, who is the consensus top 2 to 3 players at that position. Then you can start filling out your knowledge of, okay, who should I pay attention to? Who should I not? But I think a lot of fans get too wrapped up into like this mock draft said this and we didn't pick that guy. That's so stupid. We didn't pick that guy because this mock draft said this. Like I trust the team's coaching staff and training staff more than I do like NFL writers or something like Todd McShay and Mel Kiper.
Right.
Like Mel Kiper's never worked a day in the NFL. He doesn't know the front office. He doesn't know how to build teams. He's just saying, oh, well, this team needs this position, so we're going to get this guy. Well, that guy doesn't fit into that team's scheme. So why would they draft him? It makes no sense.
Right.
So I just like to use to see what team needs are, what the consensus are on like players out there, at least in the media and people who have connections into the scouting community. Okay, who's looking good, who's not looking good.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if you could probably go to a town like Pittsburgh or Green
Uh-huh.
Bay or, anywhere. And the people of that town probably have better insight on who would be needed for their team more than a lot of these people who are sitting, in Washington, D.C., in New York City, and L.A., making these mock drafts. Because at the end of the day, you're familiar with your team. You're familiar with the needs of your team. You've seen over and over the offensive line failing. You over time seen this guy getting blown up on defense. So you know what you need if you're a semi with it football fan.
Yeah.
For these guys, like I said, you get a paycheck, you go sitting down in your studio in Los Angeles, throw together a couple mock drafts, and at the end of the day, people are looking at that like you actually know what you're talking about, in a sense, about each and every single team around the league. It's impossible to know each and every single person team's weak strengths, everything from top to bottom. So again, like you said, you do it to kind of familiarize yourself with the players, with the teams, with the situations. But at the end of the day, I kind of find them a pain in the ass, these mock drafts.
Yeah, I'll pay attention to like the local writers, because they have especially like the beat writers. They tend to have, they know what the team needs. They know the type of players that the team's looking for. They know like the type of person that they're looking for too. So each team has their own different culture, what they're looking for out of a player. Some teams will like, okay, hey, we're going to look at these red flags and kind of dismiss them, and other teams like, no, we're going to take them seriously. So you kind of know, if you see, your local beat writers saying, nah, this team wouldn't take this guy, and you have national people saying, oh, they're going to be a great fit here. So you kind of know, okay, this person doesn't know what they're talking about, this one does. So kind of lean towards what they're, the local guy is saying.
Right.
So I once I start seeing them in like the local papers, or like the people who cover the Steelers for the Atlantic, once they start talking about players, those are the ones you kind of key in on.
A couple of things before we do get into the daily trivia, Mike. We are starting to run late on time. There was an Eagles fan who vandalized a fire station, attacked firefighters with a meat cleaver, and they didn't even win, Mike. That wasn't even their celebration.
I know.
That's usually what the Eagles fans reserve for celebration.
Exactly. Imagine if they would have won.
Imagine it. Yeah.
If they would have won, they probably would have burnt that city to the ground. They would have cracked the Liberty Bell in two.
Yeah. And their fake ass Rocky statue.
Right? They don't have real sports heroes. They have to have fictional characters. We have like statues of Roberto Clemente and Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
They got a fictional character. We have real life heroes.
I'm just going to get on a couple things here, Mike. Derek Carr released yesterday. Carolina, the Saints, two of the front runners that are interested in Derek Carr moving forward. I did see that Stephen Ridley, you remember the running back, Stephen Ridley? He got a misdemeanor disorderly conduct charges at a nightclub in his hometown of Mississippi. And also, Mike, Internet Explorer is done. The computer world did away with Internet Explorer, so don't even get online looking for Internet Explorer.
Poor Internet Explorer. He's just trying to help, man, doing his best, trying to help, and everyone just shits all over him.
I tell you what, this camera hasn't done anything weird in the last 3 minutes, and the first 55 minutes of the show, now it's been totally fine. I can't express the irritation that I'm having with
that camera is the Juju Smith-Schuster of cameras right now. Doesn't do anything up until the very end.
It's the Bradbury. It's the
It was the Bradbury the first 57 minutes. And P. I don't play against Madden against people because I suck.
Mike, why don't you tell everybody about the website?
Give me the rookie mode.
And I gotta get out of here. I can't
drop 100 on there. 2dumyinzers.com. Number 2 DUMYINZERS.com. Go back. You can watch episodes where the camera worked there. Pull up those YouTube episodes. And if you want to, you can listen on Spotify where you don't have to look at us, but you should look at us. Look at us. We are beautiful, beautiful men. You should watch us on YouTube. You can find that link at 2dumyinzers.
I can't believe it. Look at it. It's not doing anything wrong.
I have to laugh, otherwise I would like drive over there and beat the fuck out of that camera.
Yes.
So that was the website apparently.
Check out the website, www.2dumyinzers.com. Go check it out. And we are on every day on Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And the show that we do that day does get uploaded in the evening at 8 o'clock. So this show will be uploaded tonight at 8 o'clock over on Spotify. Go check that out. If you only have a chance to listen to the show, it is over on podcast form. Mike, are you ready for the trivia of the day?
Yes.
All right, here we go. So we can get out of here. This is going to be another penguin trivia. What are you doing, Coke? What are you doing?
I don't know, man.
What are you doing? Stop it.
I got a cut on my nose. You're worried about the camera. I got a cut on my nose.
Which penguin was the NHL scoring champ for 4 years in a row? Which penguin was the NHL scoring champ for 4 years in a row? Was it A, Sidney Crosby, B, Jaromir Jagr, C, Evgeny Malkin, or D, Mario Lemieux?
Let's just rattle off 4 Hall of Famers.
Here we go.
What a spoiled fan base we are.
Which penguin was the NHL scoring champ for 4 years in a row? Crosby, Jagr, Malkin, Lemieux, and you're saying either
it's Lemieux or Jagr. I'm gonna go with Jagr just because Lemieux, those bunch of those seasons where Gretzky was still putting up numbers, and Lemieux was missing time with different injuries. Even though he did win that one when he missed like a quarter of the season with cancer. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Jagr.
All right, Jaromir Jagr. I'll go ahead and lock you in place. Locked in. All right, Mike. One more time. Which penguin was the NHL scoring champ for 4 years in a row? Your options were Crosby, Jagr, Malkin, Lemieux. You said Jagr, and that is correct. That is correct. Mike. Jaromir Jagr did win scoring title 4 years in a row. So that was no surprise. Jaromir Jagr was a beast, man. Absolute beast.
Oh God, fun to watch.
Absolutely. Mike, I am happy to say that we are done for the day. This has got to be my least favorite show out of 247 shows. This was the most disappointing. I'm debating on even releasing this for people to watch. So frustrated. Mike, it's bad. It's really bad.
It'll be fine. It'll do numbers. I bet money on it.
Also tonight, Beavis and Butthead. Don't forget, check that out. Beavis and Butthead, all new, 10:30.